الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وبعد. Then we're back today with the 12th question from this book entitled Mistakes and Concepts Surrounding Ramadan That Must Be Corrected. And this was written by Sheikh Abu Ammar Muhammad ibn Abdullah bin Musa. Originally was a radio program that he did last year in Ramadan, and then he turned it into a book by editing it and correcting it and making it more suitable for print. And this is what we're reading here. If you refer back to the introduction video, then you can see in the description the link to the audios where the Sheikh originally answered these questions, and a link to the PDF. And as well, there is a Sheikh Salah Al-Adani who is explaining this book during this Ramadan, and the link to that playlist is included in that video as well. This 12th question that was asked to the Sheikh: what is the ruling of refraining from food and drink and sexual intercourse for the remainder of the day if the excuse for breaking fast, such as arriving home from traveling during the daytime of Ramadan, or a person being healed from his sickness? So in the middle of the daytime, person arrives home in the middle of the daytime or gets healed from his sickness in the middle of the daytime in Ramadan, does he have to refrain from fasting the remainder of the day? The Sheikh, he says the answer, and from Allah we seek his help to what is correct. The scholars are they have a difference of opinion regarding the ruling of refraining from food for the rest of the day if the excuse for breaking fast is over, if the excuse goes away, such as one coming back from traveling during the daytime while he had broken his fast due to traveling, or the one who is cured from his sickness. And they differ upon two opinions. And here the Sheikh is just going to bring one opinion, and that is to him the strongest opinion, and the other one is just understood. He says the strongest and the more weightier of the two opinions is that it is not obligatory for him to refrain for the remainder of the day. This is the school of jurisprudence of the Malikis, the Shafi'is, and one narration from the Hanbalis. And from the modern day scholars who chose this position was Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala. And they give the reason for that as follows. Number one, there's no evidence for the obligation to refrain, for the traveler to refrain if he reaches his homeland during the daytime of Ramadan. There's no evidence that he should refrain from eating after he reaches home. If he had broken his fast, where is the evidence that he must refrain from eating for the rest of the day? Secondly, there is no benefit from this refraining. There is no benefit, since it's obligatory upon him to make it up. So there's no benefit from him in refraining. And thirdly, that the sanctity or sacredness of the time has already gone with the permissible breaking of the fast in the first part of the day for him, whether that was openly or privately. So if he had broken his fast, then he will continue like that until the end of the day. Just like if the excuse had continued throughout the whole day. And this is what is the strongest opinion. And there is a rule regarding this issue, which is whoever deems it permissible what is haram during Ramadan without an Islamic justification, whoever deems to be permissible what is prohibited during Ramadan without an Islamic justification, then he must refrain the rest of the day. Such as a person who said, I don't care, I'm not fasting today. I don't care, I'm not fasting today, and he breaks his fast with his intention or with eating food. Even if he goes and he feels sorry about that, he still has to refrain for the rest of the day. You can't say, oh, I already screwed up, I'll just make it up later. No, he must refrain from the rest of the day. So whoever deems it permissible, what is normally prohibited in Ramadan without an Islamic justification, then he must refrain. It is necessary for him to refrain for the rest of the day. But whoever deems it permissible, what is prohibited in Ramadan with an Islamic excuse, then it is not necessary for him to refrain for the rest of the day. However, the Sheikh, he says, it is not necessary for him, or it is not befitting for him that he goes now around announcing his eating and his drinking. He has made it home from traveling. All of his friends and family have not been traveling and they are fasting. And so then he goes around eating and drinking in front of them or announcing that he's not eating and drinking today because he was traveling earlier in the day. Right? So he could conceal the reason for his breaking fast so that the people do not have an evil suspicion about him, or so that he is not followed in his action while they do not know what the reason for his action is. An example for this is whoever broke the fast intentionally during the daytime of Ramadan without an Islamic excuse, such as he broke his fast because he has difficult work or strenuous work or other than that, then it is upon him what follows. Firstly, he must restrain or refrain for the rest of the day because he made permissible what Ramadan prohibited without an Islamic or legislated justification. Secondly, he must make tawbah. And thirdly, he must make that day up. Whereas the second example we have is the person who he arrived home from traveling, the traveler who arrived home, or the person who was sick and he became healthy in the middle of the day. Or what might make this a little clearer for us and knowing the answer, the woman who is on her menses and becomes pure from her menses in the middle of the daytime, or other than that, then these people, it is not necessary upon them to refrain from eating and drinking for the remainder of the day, just because the legislative excuse they had has went away, the one that they broke their fast because of it. So what is the reason that they would have to refrain? Returning from traveling, or becoming healthy from being sick, or being pure from menses. All of these are Islamic excuses that one has to break their fast. So if it was permissible for him to break the fast in the first part of the day, then it's permissible for him to continue breaking his fast for the remainder of the day. And Allah knows best what is correct, and to him is the return and the final resting place. And may the salat and the salam be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as well as his family and all of his companions. Inshallah, we'll be back tomorrow with the 13th question, dealing with the issue of making up fasts on behalf of someone who passed away. Is every fast that is owed by someone who passed away to be made up for? We'll find that answer tomorrow, bi'idhnillah.